Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Of course, my name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to, of course, another Disney Infinity 3.0 Star Wars edition, of course, news roundup. And today we've got a huge news roundup indeed. We're going to be talking, of course, the new Star Wars playset, Rise Against the Empire. We're going to be talking about the Inside Out playset. We're going to be talking about new power discs that have been released. We're going to be talking about the potential release date for the game that has potentially leaked, and lots of other goodies. So with that in mind, of course, guys, if you guys enjoyed today's news update, please don't forget to smack that like button if you want to see more. It only takes a second. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick things off. First and foremost, we're going to be discussing, of course, the Inside Out playset. So let's begin with that. I know that has been revealed a little while back, but I really love this because I think it looks incredible. Like, I really think that the figures for this set may potentially be my favorite figures we ever get. And I know that sounds ridiculous for somebody that loves Marvel as much as I do. It's kind of ridiculous for me to claim something like that, but I don't know. Aesthetically speaking, these figures just look absolutely incredible. They are absolutely awesome sauce. So of course we have anger, disgust, fear, joy, and sadness. That's the new Pixar film that will be titled Inside Out, which is going to feature, of course, the idea behind emotions and kind of giving them an actual character to represent different emotions. And of course, each one of those emotions is a particular figure. And I think that they just look absolutely incredible. I mean, they are so perfectly mimic their own emotions. Like, you have anger, he's red, and he's got this red orb on his actual base, which looks really cool and just vibrant and stuff. And he's got this expression of anger, of constant anger, and his ability is going to be able to walk on lava. So each one of them is going to have a unique ability to themselves, unique to only that particular character, which is also another really cool way to make them stand out other than just aesthetically. Then we have, of course, Disgust, who's going to be able to clouds and act kind of basically use clouds to act as trampolines, so that when she jumps onto them, she's then able to get into higher platform. She's basically, I guess, thanks to her disgust, she's like, I don't even care about these clouds, and she could just jump up and do her stuff, which is pretty awesome. I don't know what that voice was that I was doing. It doesn't sound like anything like the actual character, so I apologize about that. Then we, of course, have Fear, who is apparently like the Flash, because he can run incredibly fast, and he is able to avoid traps. So he's going to be the character you want to use to get past, like, let's say if there's a trap hole or something where you need to really zap right past that, you're going to be able to go on ahead and use Fear to get the job done. On top of that, of course, we have Joy, who's got her arms open and she's ready to welcome you because she is so joyous and because she's just absolutely awesome. And of course, in terms of her abilities, she's going to be able to basically glide after conducting jumps. So as she double jumps, she'll be able to actually glide, which is pretty cool. So again, allowing her to stand out from the competition. I'm guessing that the benefit of that is going to allow her to get across long terrain. So for example, if you jump from a big point, you'll be able to then glide on over to a point lower. Whereas some of the other characters, of course, can just do the jump. They won't be able to conduct the glide, the post glide that could potentially get them to that next platform, which is pretty sweet. And finally, we have Sadness, who's adorable. Of course, she has the nice little blue orb there, and she can walk on cloud platforms without worrying about them disappearing beneath her feet, which means, of course, that she kind of has a little bit of a similar ability to Disgust, where Disgust can use actual cloud platforms. When she jumps on clouds, they act like trampolines, so she kind of bounces off of them back and forth. But Sadness, on the other hand, can just use clouds to actually walk on them, which is pretty cool and kind of metaphorical. You know, is your head up in the clouds or something like that? Maybe, like, you know, in terms of being sad, cloudy, mood, makes sense that she's able to actually interact with those. Now, you might be wondering, hey, Blitzwinger, is this going to be like a 5-figure playset? No, it won't be, because the playset itself is actually going to come with Joy and Anger. So if you want to get the other figures, you are indeed going to have to buy, of course, Fear, Disgust, and Sadness on their own, separately. So they will not be a part of the actual playset. However, of course, you can bring them into the playset and use them for interaction. Now, the cool thing that I really did like quite a bit is that they announced that they didn't gate any content behind any of the characters. So sometimes with things like, for example, with Skylanders before, we've seen things where you're not going to get to see everything on the level, unless if you have a certain kind of Skylander, like to put down of a certain type or a certain combination or whatever it is. Here, that's not the case. Luckily, you're going to still be able to explore everything in the playset without actually having to have all the figures. So if you don't want to pick up any more, you can stick with the two that you currently have, which is pretty awesome. Very good on them for doing that. Now, then let's go on ahead and move our way over to, of course, the Star Wars side of things, which I'm sure is something that you guys are super duper psyched for, and that is the Rise Against the Empire playset, which is, of course, going to be the playset that is actually based on the original trilogy, which is awesome, because I think that's the one that people are probably most psyched for. I mean, that's the most popular trilogy and the most beloved trilogy, and I think is the best. I really don't think that's any controversial statement there. I'm pretty sure like 9 out of 10 people, maybe even like 9.9, would agree on that statement. But, of course, the cool thing here is that they revealed some information about the actual level. So, for example, this adventure is going to be non-stop action, as they described it. And check this out. It's going to be interplanetary. So you're going to be conducting, in this place that you're going to be conducting yourself across different planets, which is really, really cool. So, for example, you're going to be able to go ahead and go to Tatooine and hang out on foot, or in Bantha. You can go to take down an AT-AT walker or an AT-AT walker, depends on how you pronounce that, I guess, with a snow speeder on Hoth. You can go ahead and outmaneuver stormtroopers on speeder bikes on Endor. You can partake in epic space battles in the X-Wing fighter to destroy the Death Star. So you're really kind of recreating all of the key elements of that original trilogy, of those episodes 4, 5, and 6, of course. You're really going to be able to just take a lot of those key moments and recreate them through this playset, which sounds absolutely awesome. On top of that, of course, they did show some actual pictures, which look absolutely awesome sauce. They look absolutely incredible. I really, really, really do like it quite a bit. Of course, the playset itself, once again, just like with Inside Out, where you get anger and joy, if you remember. For this one, you're going to actually be getting the set with Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. Leia Organa, of course. So that's going to be the core playset set. And then on top of that, you can, of course, pick up Darth Vader, Chewie, and Han Solo, which is also really, really cool. So let's discuss some of the images for the actual figures. I showed some gameplay pictures as well, some screenshots from those levels. So there's some really cool moments like Leia and R2-D2. There's lots of really cool stuff. I'm sure you just saw it before that. So that being said, let's discuss the figures. Leia looks awesome. I really, really, really do like the way that they actually sculpted her. I think she looks fantastic. I love how she's got the blaster. She's almost kind of like in a James Bond pose. I really like that quite a bit. She looks absolutely awesome. Luke, on the other hand, I'm not really sure about it. I don't know why he looks confused. He's like, am I supposed to be here, guys? I know maybe it's kind of supposed to play on the whole factor of where he wasn't experienced yet. And a lot of times, if you watch those original Star Wars films, he really wasn't super confident in himself at all times. Let's say, especially in like episode 4 and somewhat in 5 as well. He wasn't like super duper comfortable being what he is. So maybe that's kind of why they played it off, to be very characterful to his actual persona. I'm guessing that might have been actually a part of the actual reasoning as to why they did what they did here. However, in my mind, I think it would have been much better to maybe sculpt him a bit more dynamically. Just give him a little bit more pizzazz, maybe? Is that the word? I don't know. Just make him look a little bit cooler. Because to me, he just looks a little bit kind of bored or weirded out. I'm not sure. Then again, let's move on to Han Solo, who looks the exact opposite. He's like, I'm Han Solo, I'm cool, everybody knows it, and I know it. I mean, you can't really say much more about that. He's awesome. He looks cool. I think they did a great job on his sculpt. Now, speaking of great job on their sculpt, this is my favorite figure revealed so far, and that is Chewbacca. Now, of course, I'm referring to the Star Wars figures. I'm not referring to the Inside Out ones, because I really do think if those turn out the way that they look in pictures, they may be my favorites, because they're so colorful and vibrant that they just look cool. But nonetheless, I digress. Of course, as you can see, Chewbacca just looks absolutely awesome, or Chewie. He just looks incredible. I love how he has actually multi-shades to him. Like, they didn't just make him one uniform brown color. Like, they have different shades of brown to make it seem more layered and make him seem more like there's actual fur and stuff, and then like his skin, or maybe shorter fur and stuff. He just looks incredible. I love his weapon. He looks awesome sauce. That's going to be for sure a worthwhile pickup for me. And then, of course, lastly, the master himself. Of course, the one and only Darth Vader. He looks pretty sweet indeed. The only thing that I am concerned about, and again, maybe that's just due to the angle that we got the picture in, it seems like his lightsaber is really short. Like, I don't know if that's just me. Let me know if you guys agree in the comment section below. I would love to hear from all you lovely folks. So, all in all, of course, that is the Rise Against the Empire roundup. Of course, we discussed Inside Out, we discussed Rise Against the Empire, which, by the way, has an absolutely gorgeous packaging. I think, in general, the packaging for this year's Disney Infinity is, they're knocking it out of the park. So, I'm super duper glad about the way that stuff looks. But then, ladies and gents, we're not done. Of course, we still have plenty of things to discuss. So, let's move on to some Power Discs discussion. So, this past weekend, actually, they did a Toy Box Live, where they streamed it onto Twitch, actually showing some gameplay and stuff. And then at the end of the Toy Box Live showcase, they actually went ahead and showed some new Power Discs. So, of course, if you remember my last news update, I discussed about the fact that now Power Discs are going to be coming in packs. The last iteration of course, Disney Infinity gave us them in blind bags. You got them in actual like little bags, where you would open the bag and you'd have 2 discs inside. Well, this time around, they're going to actually be putting them in a box for $10, 4 discs inside the package. So, let's discuss, of course, the 2 Power Disc packs that were revealed. The first one was the Twilight of the Republic Power Disc pack, which is going to feature General Grievous's wheel bike. Awesome. That's really, really cool. That's going to be a toy, of course. We have Forest of Felucia, but I'm pretty sure it's Felucia from what I remember. And that's, of course, a terrain. We have Skies over Felucia, so of course that's the Sky Dome to change the actual way that the sky looks. So the terrain allows you to change the terrain and the outlook of the land and such, whereas the sky will allow you to change the way that the space and the outer sky looks, which is going to look gorgeous. Like imagine if, I can't wait. It's going to look absolutely awesome. And then lastly, we have the Galactic Team Up Power Disc, which is really awesome that they're actually doing some more team-up type stuff. And we have, of course, the one and only Mace Windu. So I guess some of the characters that may not be getting actual figures might be featured through the Power Discs, which is really, really cool. And then, ladies and gents, let's, of course, move on to the Rise Against the Empire Power Disc pack, which actually features some really, really cool and exciting stuff as well. In fact, I'm kind of more excited about this pack simply because as much as I like getting the Sky Dome and the Terrain Power Discs, I'm a much bigger fan of getting costumes and toys. So this is the pack for me because here we get Princess Leia's Bausch. I don't remember how you say it. Bausch, I think. Bausch disguise? She's a boss. That's it. It's a boss disguise because she's an absolute boss and an awesome character. And then, of course, on top of that, you get Luke's Rebel Alliance flight suit, which is really, really sweet. So you can really do a great job of recreating those iconic scenes even that much better. And, of course, Rise Against the Empire playset. And then, of course, on top of that, we get 2 incredible toys. One is all right. I mean, the Wise Wing Starfighter is... I'm not a huge fan of that vehicle, but the next one I'm a huge fan of, and I think everybody is, and that is the Slave One, which of course belongs to Boba Fett, because that ship is just incredible. It is so cool. I've even contemplated lately to actually buy that Ultimate Collector's Series thing from Lego, where you can build just like the Slave One, and it's like a really big design of it. I don't know, it just looks really cool, and I may actually end up getting that. But that's once again off topic, which is my specialty, so I do apologize about that again. Let's go ahead and round everything up, guys, with, of course, the release date, because a lot of us are still wondering, well, when is this game coming? We know, of course, when Lego Dimensions is coming. We know when Skylanders Superchargers are coming. We know usually kind of somewhat vaguely when Amiibos are coming, but we don't know when is Disney Infinity 3.0 launching. Well, actually, over this past weekend as well, Best Buy actually leaked a picture that showed some interesting stuff. Now, of course, you're looking at that picture. This is actually from infinityinquirer.com, so check them out. They do really great coverage of daily kind of reveals and rumors and things like that about Infinity. They do great work there. And the cool thing is that this showed to us that... the game is rumored to be coming out on August 23rd, which is pretty awesome. That's really cool because I thought it would be coming out later. I thought if I had to predict, I was going to go like September-ish, late September or so. Here we get it actually in late August, so that means that right before the school year starts, you can get yourself a really cool game. And it's really sweet to see that we will be able to get our hands on this game potentially on August 23rd. Now, of course, when we reach E3, I'm sure that will be confirmed whether or not that is the case or not. But I think that it could be realistic. Now, of course, some people that point out that in the picture it says 2018, but if you look at other games that are in that picture, like the One Piece Pirate Warriors or the Dungeon Travelers 2, you can see that their release dates are actually correct. It's just that the year is incorrect, so it could be an issue in the actual system about the year, but I think it's actually pretty legitimate. I think there's a very good chance that we would be receiving Disney Infinity 3.0, of course, the Star Wars edition, on August 23rd, which would be a Sunday, of course, so that allows you to get to the stores early and hopefully snag up any of the more rare or hard to get figures ahead of time. So, that in mind, guys, there you have it, of course. I hope you guys enjoyed today's huge news update. I mean, look at that. We had 15 minutes of discussion. I talk super duper quick like I usually do, but there was tons and tons to cover. I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed today's update. If you did, please don't forget to smack that like button. Lots and lots of work goes into these, just rounding up all the information, clarifying it, trying to kind of, like, you know, sift between completely rumors versus something that it could be more legitimate and such. So it takes a while with that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be working on the next one. And of course, stay tuned for E3, because during E3, we're going to get lots of cool news. I am 100% certain of that. So I'm looking forward to that as well. As always, guys, have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will indeed catch you lovely folks next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.